Hey, 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 you all. How are you? How are you? How are you? It is Miss Washington. I'm excited to be with you today. Now, I wanted to focus in on Unit 2 and dealing with the objectives, dealing with the SMART goals. It is one of the questions that I wanted us to focus in on now because I want to make sure that you all are not confused when it comes to this. And we're going to go there. I'm going to try to make this a mini video. And always remember, we do our conference Zoom calls on Wednesdays, our live calls, our engagement calls on Wednesdays. And that'll be happening this week. It'll be happening on tomorrow if you are watching this today, which is Tuesday. And so, focusing in on that question, you guys, and I'm going to give you an example. Now, you don't have to use this example, but I wanted to give you something in order to gauge everything that you create by. And so, we're going to be dealing with that question that stated you have a company that is struggling with handling its consumers, or as we also call consumers, the customer, or some people call them the client, and they're getting multiple emails, they're getting multiple phone calls, everything is piling up. It is getting very, very chaotic. So when chaos sets in, what do you think is happening? You have unhappy customers, and you have employees that are going crazy, and now they're emotional. They may spew out bad language because now they're emotional, and they may be getting upset with the customer. The customer is getting upset with them, and so we don't want that to happen within the company. And so in this, you all, we have to create objectives. And one thing for sure, you do not want to do. We do not want to simply put a band aid on the wound. We want to make sure that there is a structure and a process already in order. So if this happens again, there's already something there in order for us to go by or even go back to, because sometimes people have to go back to the drawing board and see if this is working or if it's not working. And this is why we measure things and we do benchmarks just to see where we are. Now, I wanted to focus in on this for sure too, because as I said, one of the companies I have is called the Customer Culture. Now, for me, this hits a point because I get called on a consistent basis from companies that have problems. They are in crisis mode, and they cannot handle they cannot handle the situations and the customers or whoever everybody's upset. All right. And so let's break it down a little bit for you all because I don't want you all to walk away confused. I want to make sure you understand this. And then I want us to discuss this even more on our Zoom call. Okay. So now we want to focus in on the objectives. Now, we already know the question was basically how do we create the objectives? What are the SMART goals? What are we doing here? Now, the main thing is we're dealing with a company is dealing with the fact, or they're struggling with the fact that they really can't handle the consumers, and the consumers are not happy, and they're sending emails and they're calling, and no one could get through. Emails are not being answered. It's just utter chaos is going through. And so, for you as the consumer, whether you are working for a company, whether you have your own business, or you're an entrepreneur and you have something happening, you always want to look at your objectives. What am I trying to do here? What's happening? This is the problem. I need to create a solution. Period. I need to create a solution. There's no middleman, but there's a process to get to. As I said before, you got to get people across the bridge. You got to go from point A to point Z before you even get to point Z. All right. So let's look at the objectives here. Now, there are multiple objectives. And so I'm going to give you some objectives here. And this is what I have found to be situations that have happened, and we've had to break them down. So even if I have an objective, you all, each objective still has to be broken down to a degree. All right. Because you want to get very specific. How do I get to that point? And so I have my little flashcard. And so the first thing we're going to talk about, you guys, are the objectives. All right. What are the actual objectives? We're talking about customers. So my goal really is one objective is I really want to have happy customers. All right. So one objective is to have happy customers. But how do I get to those happy customers? All right. Now, if I don't have happy customers, mm, my trust factor decreases. And in the trust factor decreases, I may no longer be credible. All right. And so, in knowing that, I also want to create company credibility. And I have to evaluate, how do I create company credibility? That's an objective. I want company credibility. All right. Another thing is, because we have emails coming through, emails not being answered. We have phone calls coming through. People cannot get their questions answered. That means there's a loop in the system. There is a hole somewhere. That means there could be, I have employees, and the objective is to help develop the skills within the company. So that must mean there needs to be training within that company. All right. At the end of the day, the bottom line, it boils down to the consumer. All right. And we want happy consumers. And another thing that may be a problem is the efficiency is not up to par. So I have to increase the efficiency within my company. All right. And so now we want to evaluate all of these objectives. So let me repeat the objectives one more time. My objective: happy customers, company credibility, develop skills within the company, increase efficiency. Okay. So that's those are my objectives that I have written out. And this is why I tell you guys, and people want to market, they want to brand, they be like, oh my God, this is all it takes in social media marketing. This is all it takes in marketing, period. My brand and all this stuff, it takes work to get here. All right. But once you get it down packed and you create a habit of knowing what it is that you need to do, it won't be so difficult. All right. And so now you want to begin to create your SMART goals. So you have to ask yourself, what are the SMART goals? The SMART goals are, and it's a process. This is a process. It stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. You always want to remember that. And every objective, you literally want to develop a SMART goal for it, because it's going to help you in the long run. All right. So now I choose to use, I'm going to go with my objective of efficiency. I want to increase efficiency. And so if that's going to be my objective, this is what I'm going to work on. I'm going to be my objective is to increase, not decrease, but to increase efficiency within my company. SMART goals. I need to measure it. I want to increase it by 10% within 3 months to resolve customer complaints on the first call. That's my goal statement. Ta-da! You see how we did that? And so that's how you create your goal statement. So once again, you want to look at your SMART goal. You got to get specific. But first, what is your objective? What am I trying to do? Am I trying to happy customers? So what do I do to get to those happy customers? What I gave out may not be what you want to use. You may have a different objective. You may have something else that you want to use it for your company. So however you need to operate. So once again, I created my SMART goal. I got specific. I want to increase my efficiency within the company by 10% within 3 months to resolve customer complaints on the first call. Because I had to think, if my emails are piling up and my phone calls are coming in like crazy, it's obvious that whoever is working, they may not be skilled enough to answer the problem on the first call. So you see how everything works together, but you have to be able to be still enough and take time out and measure it. It has to be time bound so it's attainable and it's relevant. It's relevant to the fact that I need my customers to be satisfied. I need my clients to be satisfied. That's what's relevant here. Otherwise, they're going to go to your otherwise they'll go to your competitor. Otherwise, they'll go on Yelp and give you a bad grade. It's so many factors that can go into place. And so, this is why we said, and I'm glad we did bring up this question in this assignment, because as we said in the previous chapters, it is about your customer, it is about your client, and your job is to develop the solution. What is it? What pain point do I need to handle? How can I keep them happy? What do I need to do? How do I get rid of the chaos? All right. And so I wanted to share that with you. We'll talk about it even more, and that should help you out quite a bit. But that was your goal statement. And so now, I try to keep this video short, you all. This is the mini video, but it should be very, very helpful for you. Now, if you have any other questions, always email us so we can help you navigate through. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.